Hey guys, welcome to the podcast Dear Life. I'm your host Raza Palami, and this is the faith-based podcast where we bring fresh perspective, real talk, and lots of inspiration from the Bible. Today we're gonna talk about something that we all struggle a lot, all of us, but only there is few people who openly talk about it. It's about sin, and not only we're gonna learn about sin of lust, but we're gonna learn how to overcome the sin of lust today. So today I'll be talking to you guys through the story of Joseph. He is a great example. So Joseph was a teenager boy who was sold by his brother to the foreign country, and he worked in the house of Potiphar as a cleaner. He was in the head of the house cleaning department, and he was doing his job amazingly. But one day, Potiphar's wife called Joseph to her place, and he went to her place. When he went to her place, Potiphar's wife told him, "Come sleep with me." But in there, one of the amazing things that Joseph did that made me think, how? Why would you didn't even have to do that, is that he denied Potiphar's wife. He said no, and he ran away. And imagine if you were in Joseph's place. He was a teenager boy, right? He could have done something impulsive, but one thing that Joseph did was he chose to say no and ran away. And what made him do that? I was thinking, because as a teenager, we might do something that, a lot of people won't accept it. And most of the time we do wrong things, right? Because we are growing and in that age. But Joseph feared God. He feared God. He was the guy who walked with God, who listened to God. Because of that, when no one was seeing them, no one saw them, okay, when they were in the room. When Potiphar's wife said, "Come sleep with me," but he still feared the Lord. He chose to say no and went, and he ran away. And a lot of the time now, devil may come like that, and there are other ways devil come: through our phone, through our social media, through seeing the girl's picture in our social media wearing bikini and all this stuff, and revealing clothes. Through that, devil will bring the lust in our life. And because a lot of people are struggling with this, sometimes, when we're in the room by ourselves scrolling through phone and we find some pornography picture or video, we tend to watch it. And, devil whisper in our ears saying it's okay. This is just a one time. It won't bother you. You can watch it. And when we choose to watch it, that, the word that devil said, "It's okay, you can watch once," will eventually become a habit. And because of that habit, because we let devil come with the lust into our life, because we say yes to devil, a lot of people are struggling with this addiction. And God is telling you today, it is not too late. How can we overcome with the sin of lust? First of all, what we need to do to overcome this kind of sin is fear God. When you start fearing God, you will start honoring Him and whatever the commandment He has. Even though when no one is watching, you will be faithful and loyal to God. And that's very important. And that's what the enemy doesn't want you to do, is fear God. When you fear God, you will live a life of faithfulness, live a life of trustfulness, because no matter what other people say or what other people don't see it, you will still choose to be faithful to God because you fear Him. So be fearful to God and honor Him, and don't isolate yourself. In our generation, a lot of the time, we are always in our phone, in our room. Most of the time, we don't usually talk with people as much as we used to. Because of this technology world, we are so caught up in our phone, we forget to talk with people. Even myself, I find it that. And when we isolate ourselves with other people, that's when the enemy works, because enemy knows how weak we are. So when we are weak and living our life by ourselves alone, then it's easier for enemy to make you addicted in those things because you're by yourself and there is no one to talk. So you feel weak and it's easy for enemy to deceive you, to trap you into the deceptions. And one thing is very important. Second thing, guard your thought. Your thought is very powerful. What you think will eventually become into the action. So whatever you think constantly will become the reality, because our subconscious mind do not know whether that is real or just the imagination. So if you keep thinking about pornography, a lustful thing, a lustful image, then that will actually become into action. That will actually become into your reality. So guard your heart, guard your mind. Tell the enemy when enemy is saying all those, giving you all those images of lustful things and making you watch, deny every single time when those thought comes. Tell the thought, this is not who I think this is. This is not me who is thinking this. This is the enemy who is thinking. But I will deny this thought that enemy is planting the seed in me, and I will speak the word and start speaking the word and tell the enemy, I am who the God says I am. I'm not who what you say. And the more you deny the enemy, the more you will come closer with God. And the more easier for you to overcome the lust that you're trapped into for many years. And third is talk to someone who you can trust. When you talk to someone who you can trust, it helps you ease the burden that you are holding inside of you, and that person can give you good advice. And one thing that I would like to tell you is talk to the person who is mature believer, who is mature in the word of God, who can guide you to the right path. And if you feel like uncomfortable to talk to anyone, then my advice is make God your mentor. A lot of the time, we think how God talked to us. God talked to us with his word. A lot of the time we imagine God to come right here and talk to us. No, he will find a people for you. He will find a word that exactly that you will need it to overcome those things. So when you make God your mentor, he will eventually help you overcome with the things that you're struggling with. And those are the things that will help you overcome with lust. And I know it's very difficult, right? Because there are people who been entrapped to the lust since they were young, like 9 or 10 years old. And there are people, like a lot of people, who are trapped into these things and who are thinking, how do I overcome with these things, and who don't know the way. But I hope from this video that you find, and most importantly, fear God. I would say when you start fearing God, you will start honoring, and he is the one who will guide you into the things that you never thought you would overcome. Trust God and trust his plan, and trust me, the things that you thought impossible, God will help you and God will guide you. And I hope from this podcast, it will help you be overcome with the lust and be with God more closer and closer. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to learn more insight on God and how to stay strong in our faith.